Hello and welcome to Modern Latin American History. My name is Brandon Morgan and I am the instructor for our course. I've been studying Latin American history for 20 some odd years now. And so I'm very excited to be the instructor for this course, to learn from you and your insights on Latin America's past. In this video, I want to walk you through our course, just give you a quick tour so that you can see and understand how to navigate everything that you will need to do to complete the course and to learn and understand more about Latin America and its recent past. I also wanted to really emphasize that I am here to support you in your work in our class. So please don't hesitate to email me, to send me a text message. That number is in the syllabus. To tweet at me if you're on Twitter. Whatever it is, whenever you have questions, I'm here to help. And that's what I see my role as doing, right? So I'm happy to answer technical questions as far as I'm able. If not, I might refer you to the ITS service desk. I'm here to address specific issues about or questions about the different platforms that we're using in our class, including Tiki-Taki for the class timeline. And more than anything, I'm happy to talk about questions you have relative to Latin American history. So hopefully you'll take advantage of those opportunities to talk more. In terms of kind of my philosophy about the work that we do together in class, some of it will be kind of public facing, some of it will be collaborative like we do in the timeline. The goal is for you to learn as much as you possibly can about how to study history, about Latin American history and cultures, and about how it relates to U.S. history and cultures. So I'm here to support that, again, in any way that I can. And my goal is to help you along that path. So to that end, there's no penalty for late work. I do have to cut things off at the very end of the semester. So the final day of class is August 6th. That's when the final project's due. So everything has to be turned in by that point if it's going to be considered for your final grade. But I'm here to provide you feedback. I'm very big on grading feedback, so look for that through Brightspace. In particular, I will respond on the discussion board. So, again, I don't just want to give you numbers. I want to give you ideas about, what questions your responses raised in my mind, what things you might do to learn a little bit more. Really, the idea is to actually learn and grow in this class and to use the coursework as a vehicle for that. So do look for that feedback. If you're not sure how to find it, please ask. You can revise and resubmit any assignment that you want to based on that feedback that I'll send you. Again, so you have all these opportunities if you would like to take advantage of those. It's fairly wide open. All right, so that said, I want to show you around our course. This is the course homepage. As you scroll down, please do check for announcements. Once I finish creating this video, I'll post it here. I'll also post it in the course content section that I'll show you in a second. You can read the brief overview of who I am. In this course content browser, you can go straight to the unit learning modules. So that's one way to get there. There are also other ways to get there. Sorry, I'm scrolling down, hopefully not making anyone dizzy. I wanted to show you this activity feed thing at the bottom. So, essentially this is like it's almost like a Facebook feed or something that's just limited to our class. And so from time to time, I will post current events relative to Latin American history, questions that you might answer for extra credit, a wide range of things I'll post there. Please look for that. Please respond there. Please post things that you find that you think the rest of us would be interested in that are germane to our study of Latin American history. It's open. It's there for all of us to use. All right, so now that I've showed you that, let me go back to the top. Sorry for the scrolling. To get to the unit modules, if you don't use that course overview thing below, click coursework. Here you can go to the discussions straight away as well if you know you need to get to one of those directly. But most importantly, click content. as this blue box says. Click content, then click overview and syllabus to get started. This video will also be posted there once I finish creating it. These videos are only as good as your internet is fast, unfortunately. Mine's being a little slow because I'm trying to do a few things at once. All right, here we go. So something about this, this will take you to wherever you left off. So last time I was in here, I was looking at the timeline module. So I'm just going to scroll down to show you that. Beneath all the regular unit work, there's this Twitter and timeline tutorials. So that's for the reading responses assignment. You can choose to do that one on Twitter or on the discussion board. So if you choose Twitter, this is more information about that. This is more information about the timeline, including tutorial videos. Same thing will happen if you click Final Project and Extra Credit. It'll pop out these two submodules, and you can click into those to read more about that. But this is all kind of below the 7 units that are included in our main coursework. Do click Overview and Syllabus if you haven't already. There are a couple of ways to get to this video, so it's possible that you haven't looked at this yet. As you scroll down, there's my overview of our course and another link to the syllabus, as you've seen already. I emailed it to you. It's a Google Doc, so you click there, you'll have access to it. If you have an APS account that you're using as your Google account, for some reason, APS accounts are a little bit finicky with displaying my Google Docs because they're outside of the APS organization. You may have to use your personal Google account to access these things. If that isn't making sense to you and you're having trouble, please let me know and I'll help you out. My regular office hours are Tuesday mornings, 9 to 11. So you can just pop in anytime in that time range. You can use this link here. There's another link to the Zoom meeting in the syllabus as well. So those are the 2 ways you can get to the office hours. If those times don't work for you and you would like to meet up, please let me know and we can make an alternate appointment. Also, I'm not quite sure how my summer schedule is shaping up. There are a few things that, in terms of my work at CNM, that I'm juggling. I'm going to try to have a couple of synchronous sessions that are optional because those are not required the way this course was set up and what you registered for. But if you want some sessions where you could come and ask questions or we'll talk about something specific, so keep your eyes on the announcements or your email for that. All right, and then if you're using Twitter, here's information about that. And then this is the course tour from last time around, so I'll replace it with this one once I'm done. So that's essentially this section here is where you have access to all of our coursework. It is important to read the syllabus. It has links to all of the specific assignment guidelines and an overview of how things are structured. But if you just click into any of these unit learning modules, you will be taken through step by step in terms of what you need to complete. I'm going to click on Unit 2 to show you that one as an example. Unit 1 is a little bit different, and so is Unit 6, and there's information about that within the learning modules themselves and also in the syllabus. But I wanted to show you this one because Units 2 through 5 are set up essentially the same way. So this is showing you essentially how the course works. So Unit 2, everything starts on a Monday, ends on a Sunday. June 21st is a Monday, 27th is a Sunday. There's an image and a guiding question. So the guiding question is important because you will use it to shape the responses that you post to the readings, whether you do that on Twitter or on the discussion board and when you respond to each other. The guiding question will also kind of shape the way that you create your timeline entries. So do pay attention to those and complete the readings and course materials, thinking about how does this stuff help me to answer that question. So this is here just to really give you something to focus on as you work your way through the course materials for the unit. To enter the unit, you can go down, and if you've already been in the unit and you want to go to the reading responses, you can click there. Or you've already been in, you want to go to the ID step. You don't have to actually click through every little piece of the unit. But if you want to do it that way, click first on Unit 2 Intro and Objectives. All of the units have this Intro and Objectives section, in which I write a little overview. It says this is what we're studying over the next week. And then this is what you need to do to complete this unit's coursework. So there are certain assignments, the reading responses, and the identification step of the timeline that are due every Thursday, and then other assignments that are due every Sunday, including the timeline connection step and the journal entry. So that's listed out there along with those unit objectives. You can use these arrows to navigate to the next section of the learning module. All right, so this next section, it restates the guiding question, and I've posted videos where I talk through kind of what you need to be thinking about in order to address that guiding question. So I help you to break it down into its parts so that you can be thinking about those things as you complete the readings. This section here, I'm doing the course tour and realizing that I haven't updated it, but I'm going to. So when you see this, it'll look a little bit different, the reading strategy section. Please do watch this. What I've done, there will be 3 separate videos here now. I'll probably leave these links to resources about how to read for college level courses, but reading means something specific for history. You don't need to be planning on reading word for word everything in the reading assignment that you've been given. That's really, it's just not a fair expectation. But instead, what you need to do is work your way through those readings in such a way that you'll be able to work on that guiding question. And so in the few videos that I'm going to post, I'll give you an overview of the 2 main books that we'll be reading week in and week out. And then I'll show you, how I would approach reading each one without reading every single word of the assignment. So please do watch those. Hopefully they're helpful. If they inspire further questions, don't hesitate to ask. But again, I made those hoping that they'll give you more clarity about how to work through the course readings and how to be thinking about answering those guiding questions. All right, this section, and there's one in every learning module, lists the readings that are assigned. This is also in the course schedule and the syllabus. Note, here's the guiding question again. I want to make sure you have access to it everywhere. And so the Wood and Alexander book, I list these by the author's last names. They're the editors of Problems in Modern Latin America. And then Chastain is the author of Born in Blood and Fire. We'll read Ayud Rigoberta Menchú toward the end of the semester, so you can get that one in a couple of weeks if you don't have it right off the bat. So that one will be related to the final project, and it will be related to the work that we do in Unit 6. There's also a podcast in every unit reading section, and those are meant to be kind of supplemental to give you a different perspective and also a different medium through which to learn something about this period in Latin American history. The questions that are down here, there's no assignment connected to those. They're just there to help you think about just another means of support, some questions you might want to keep in mind as you read. And they will hopefully contribute to helping you answer this larger question. So you'll notice the guiding questions are very broad. Hopefully they're not overly general, but they are broad so that there are a lot of different ways you could answer them and you could think about them. And that's kind of the point, is to help you find your path of study through the materials that we're working with in each unit. These film clips, there are film clips included. They're just short videos. A lot of them are on YouTube. Some of them are these crash course videos. There's actually, I think this might be the only one because these were not Latin American history crash course videos. So only one of them worked. There are a few of these Stephen Volk lectures, but there are also other more specific videos depending on what the topic is. And as I've noted, these are meant to help you just get a different perspective, to add context, to help you better understand the reading. If you don't have time to watch them, if you don't have time to watch any of them, or if you don't have time to watch a couple of them, that's more than fine. The readings and the podcasts are what we're focusing on each week. All right, this next section reminds you to go and complete your reading responses. And so it includes a link to that reading responses, the assignment guidelines that tell you what it is that you need to be doing. And this mentions here that you can complete this either on Twitter or on the discussion board. So if you do it on the discussion board, this link here will take you to that particular forum. If you do it on Twitter, you just go to twitter.com and make sure to use the H1180 hashtag. And if you go back to the table of contents down to those tutorial modules that I showed you at the very bottom of everything, there are explanations of what that all means. All right, so that's a reminder to work on the reading responses next. This is where you will submit the ID step for the timeline entry. So as is noted in the timeline assignment instructions and in the tutorials that I've created, and again, you can find those in that learning module below the tutorials. They're also embedded within the assignment instructions themselves, so you can click here to get the instructions. That's the explanation of how to do the assignment. You'll need to submit your work via a Word document or similar, whatever you use, whether you use Google Docs or Open Office. If that's still a thing, I'm not sure, but any word processor document is good. You just upload it here, and then you also submit your work to the timeline on Tiki-Taki. Similar thing for the connection step. So the next section of each module will take you to the connection step. Remember that the reading responses and the ID step, those are due on Thursdays. The connection step and then the journal, those two things are due every Sunday. And there's a lot of room within that. You can work ahead, if Thursday is not the best day for you, but you can get everything done by Wednesday or Tuesday, however you work, that's more than fine. If you don't want to do work on the weekend, you can submit those last two assignments on Fridays. I've hopefully given enough wiggle room there. And remember, I do accept late work as well with no penalty if things intervene and get in the way. But just trying to give you space to create a schedule that works for you. Next comes the section for the journal entry. So this is a reflective entry that's meant to kind of be the culmination of all the work that you've done on the reading responses and on the timeline. So you will reflect on what some of the most important sections of the readings and the materials were for helping you answer the guiding question. You'll give your overall answer to the guiding question now that you've completed this work, and talk about any further questions or ideas that you have. The specific assignment, you can link to it here, and then you can submit your work there. All right, last thing in each learning module, if I'm remembering correctly, yes, is the self-assessment and looking ahead. So this is essentially just a replay of the checklist of things that you should have done to complete all of the work in this unit. And units 2 through 5 will have essentially the same assignments. We'll just be covering different readings and a different time period and theme in Latin American history. So just make sure that you've done all these things. There's also a reminder to look through the final project requirements. One of the options is to write an essay on a Rigoberta Menchú. The other is to do a review of the film También la lluvia, or Even the Rain. You can see more about that by clicking there. And then that is due last day of class, Friday, August 6th. And you'll have a little bit of time that last week specifically dedicated to finishing up those projects and any other work that you didn't quite get done. And then if you click ahead, this will take you to Unit 3. And so that will put you in position to start all over. As you've probably noticed, or start all over on the next week's work, I should say. As you've probably noticed, everything's open, so you can work ahead. You're welcome to work ahead if that's something you want to do. If not, you can just do your best to, keep up with these dates. They're not suggestions. If you keep up with them, you'll be sure to get everything done that you need to do over the course of the semester. So even though I don't, there's no late penalties, please do try to stay up with the due dates. Please check in with me if you're going to miss something, if you have questions, or if I can help. If you're not sure where to find any of these tutorials or whatever it might be. Unit 3, the last day of this unit is July 4th, and I know most places are taking Monday off as the holiday observed. But if you don't want to be submitting work on July 4th, just do it the day before. I left it open that way just so that if anybody kind of gets behind, they can. Submit this work, especially the connection step and the journal on Sunday, July 4th. But, I recommend not. I recommend working ahead. And then do note that the week of July 5th through 11th, that following week, that you have that week off. There are no new assignments. It's just a week to catch up on things, to kind of take a breath, reassess, and make sure that you'll be able to jump into Unit 4 ready to finish out the next few weeks strong. All right, so I think those are the main things I want to show you. As I've said a few times, please don't hesitate to contact me. Don't think you're emailing me too much. There's no such thing as that. If you email me late at night, I just won't answer you till the next day. I shut my computer off, but I will get back to you. I will help you, and that's what I'm here for. So I hope that you're having a good start to this kind of late part of the summer semester, and I look forward to getting to know each of you.